talking about the high office of thanks, that thanks should ever go before us. The first word that moves out on our breath. So why do we give thanks? What is the mystical power of thanks? When that word thanks travels out on our breath into the great atmosphere of beingness, what happens? Thanks is a sacred word of inner conviction that contains every power of creation, which goes before us to move out upon the waters of creation to create exactly that which we want. Thanksgiving, therefore, connects us to all the powers on invisible planes and moves in an all-encompassing action to ignite and gather unto itself all that we need. Thanks is the method and the way in our heart of hearts that we commune with our source. It is said, for the joyous life, and many mystics know this, all we need to do is continually give thanks. Morning, noon, and night. If we didn't know one word of English or any other language, not one word of communication, if all we could say is thanks, 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 that would be enough for kingdoms to be ours. For thanks is the language of the soul and love. Thus, thanksgiving is not only a word, not only an attitude, it is a spiritual substance. Thanksgiving is filled with the substance of the cosmic heart, and that knows its oneness with all. Thanksgiving is irresistible to God, to creation. So thanks reigns and rules first ever in the creative order. And it is foremost always in the consciousness of every mystic, every master you've ever heard of. The first word is thanks. And it's in the writings. In reading in the Bible, it said, Christ, before the thing was manifest, Christ gave thanks to the source. Before. Thank you, Father, thou hast heard me. Thou art my sufficiency. Thank you, Father, creative principle, thou hast heard me. And I know thou hearest me always. Okay? So, thanks is that beautiful sound, the word that breaks barriers, actually in vibrational language. It breaks the barriers of sound, of time and space and limitation. It breaks through those walls, it softens them to reach in and touch the substance of God. So before you do anything, give thanks. Before you call up that person you're looking for, before you call, and you call, give thanks. Before you do anything, before you make a business deal, before whatever, give thanks. While you are in the middle phases, where creation is going on, and you're not seeing what the result is yet, You know, when the roots are in the soil and the thing is happening, give thanks continuously. Before the light of manifestation, give thanks. Give thanks also after your good harvest. Stand back and admire God's handiwork and give thanks. Create a constant stream of thanks, overflowing. Give thanks for all of your life, for your life, and all in it. Give thanks for every person, every friend. Give thanks for your every acquisition, no matter how small it may seem to be. Small or large, every breakthrough you've ever made, every stride that you've ever made, every love that you've ever had, every friend, every miracle, the entire thing. This way you accumulate power. And also you create more. You make more by giving thanks. Remember, it's not just a word, it's not just a nice attitude. This is divine creative substance, the substance of life that is stirred up by thanks. So thanks unites you with the cosmos of being. It makes you one. Thus, if you are one, what happens? You have access to all that unlimited creative force that abounds in the universe. When you speak thanks, you override limitation. So you are united on the inner planes of the cosmos of being with everyone and everything, and it makes more of the good that you have. Talk about the yeast that raises the dough, right? Thanks really does it. Okay, so be sure also, so understand why, be wise as well as loving. Wisdom with love is probably the greatest, place we can be in. So also, be sure, consciously sure, that you are giving thanks for what you want and not for what you don't want. For what you want to perpetuate and take with you and make more of. Because did you know that when we are in fear, when we choose to stay in fear, and it's a choice, rather than to move into faith and to do what we know to do, when we choose to live in fear, we are projecting the negative, aren't we? Okay? We are in essence, therefore you can say, preparing or giving thanks for. Another word for giving thanks is what I'm preparing for. What we don't want. So be very alert when your mind starts to drift to negative speculation. Uh-oh, I'm creating here. Let me nip that in the bud and let me get clear here and just give thanks. Clear my mind and restate to myself what I'm giving thanks for. So remember, you're in charge. You can use this tool or you can use the other. It's your choice. So be sure you are giving thanks for what you want and more, and for the unseen good. That in the secret place of all creative action and the commencement of any creative pattern, be sure you are in silent communion with that constructive creative force. Tell it you trust it. Tell it you know it. For it is the invisible power that has manifest for you, as you have heard, every good that you have experienced up until this moment and that you shall ever experience. Have a good relationship with divine substance through gratitude. Have an honorable relationship with your omnipotent friend, your best friend, your subjective creative mind within, who never denies you. Never denies you unless you say, deny me. Because your friend, the creative power, responds to you. So if you say, I can have, it says, All right, I'm going and I'm getting. And you say, I can't, but I can't have. Now I feel I can't have. Okay, I'm stopping. It just follows your lead. So give thanks and don't be afraid. Give thanks to this great subjective power for all the good that you want. Thank you, thank you. Just be simple. Thank you that you are doing this for me. Thank you, you are making my day great tomorrow. More profitable, more fun, more joyous than it has ever been. Thank you. And then just say what it is that you would like. And it shall be. You'll go to sleep. There it is. There it is the next day. Okay, thank you. I know you go before me. Say this often. I know you go before me in the invisible and establish me in all my ways. This power within you responds to what you expect from it. It takes orders and instruction from you. It is your willing servant, carrying out your fondest desire, and it knows how. When all the world says no to you, when you have gone through all the available resources and done all that you know to do in the outer world, when all the world shall shun you, say no to you, it says yes, and it knows how when the entire world has failed you. And sometimes we have to come to this to finally say, oh, I forgot to ask, from the primary source, right? So never doubt it. Never doubt it. When everything has failed you, that source stands behind you and is there. So what else about thanks? We know, give thanks, ask for what you want, give thanks for what you want. What else about thanks? It multiplies, as you've heard, the good we have. That which I praise and acknowledge and that I am happy for increases in my life. Because as the energy of my attention is on it, the beam is on it, and it's rotating it, and it's increasing it. So, filled with the substance of your gratitude, the thing you're giving thanks for begins to expand. And it flows over its own boundaries to make more. An ever-responsive fountain of self-sustaining good. So if you want more, rather than complaining and judging and saying there's not enough and how hard it is and good is hard to come by, rather than working hard and slaving to appease outer powers, fickle powers, someone or something who may or may not give you what you want, go to your God, who is stable and who never denies you. It may show up in the outer through a person, but contact your inner source first and simply give thanks. Go above. Go above the effects of the world. Go above all those opinions and attitudes out there about you. God knows who you are. Go above it. Stay in your high arc. Rise above and go free to the one who does not bargain with you, who does not diminish you, who would not put you through any ringer, who loves you, to whom you are precious, and to whom all things are easy to accomplish. All things are easy. Whose door of acceptance is open to each and every one. You have a door. You don't have to open it. It's open. Each one of us, not some of us, each one of us has our special door and our special line of vibration. Regardless of name, history, status, credits, to this source Each one of us is perfect and the beloved. Go there. Go there. And say thank you. I know thou hearest me always. Bring forth my good. Press down, above and beyond conditions, persons, places, things, independently. Bring forth my good. Press down and running over. I love you. Say, I love you often. You know, love is like praise, is like thanks. Everything responds. Everything in nature responds to praise, thanks. Why should it be any different? Say, I love you, my beautiful God, source, great I am, and I love thy bountiful world. Don't criticize this world that we live in. It's God's world. It's God's world. Say, I love it. Now, I've been hurt. Sure, so what? I still love this world. You know, I've been angry. They did things to me. So what? I still love this world. It's God's world, and I'm greater than anything that comes to me. Okay, so say, so what? Learn now also not to wait. Don't wait to give thanks. Trying everything else that all the they says. You know the famous they say? Well, they told me, they say, trying everything else, you know, like the prodigal son, going out and trying the whole thing, prodigal son, daughter, and then at last returning home to find the keys of good, and that the banquet was already laid out for you, and the father was not angry, just happy to see you. So don't wait until crisis becomes your phone call. Go first. You don't have to have crisis to meet God. Go first. Go to the primary source first. But at the same time, even if you have wandered far, no matter how far, know you can return, and you shall instantly find full acceptance awaiting you. With the first word of thanks, there is complete forgiveness, complete alignment. So don't feel sorry or grieve over the past or hard attitudes that have constricted you or false fears that have limited your joy. Just come back. Just come back to your kingdom and enjoy the simplicity of it and its great majesty now. Just because you haven't experienced great good in the past doesn't mean that you can't right now, just by giving thanks for it. Okay? So, have you conquered the world? You know, each one of us in some aspects have conquered our worlds, have, you know, come up over some phases, right? But have you conquered the world and still you aren't happy? Then you have forgotten to give thanks to the power of your life. Okay? If you're unhappy in attainment, you have forgotten to give thanks to the power of your life, whose breath that you breathe, who was silently the force behind all that you achieved. When we give thanks, we are filled with the warmth of divine spirit. We are invincible and nothing can shake us. What we are giving thanks for tells the truth of our expectations. Thus, where our heart is, the harvest is. The increase is and the harvest is. Where our heart is, the yield is another way of saying it. Are things out of order in your life? Is there lack? You have forgotten to give thanks. That's all. You've forgotten to give thanks. And then whatever has been the problem is healed. So you can be sure for any problem, healing will accompany that. Is there a long-held desire that has not yet manifest? Give thanks. You've forgotten to give thanks. This word thanks is nameless and placeless, belongs to no one, yet can be used by everyone. It is the universal word that breaks barriers. It is the power of God. It is omnipotent. So say thanks, and mountains shall fall before you. Say thanks, and your harvest right now, whatever you're thinking on, shall be better than ever before. The best ever. Always give thanks for the best ever. This time, the best. Say thanks, and all hard conditions shall melt by the gaze of your love. The warmth, the fire of your love. Soften into those liquid rivers of golden good. Say thanks to those who offend you. The alchemy is so powerful in that. Say thanks to those who offend you, and that energy shall alchemize, and they shall become your friends. Be harmonized. Everything will harmonize. Say thanks, and you shall touch the universal hearts and be wrapped in splendor. You know, I just had a thing. I had asked one of the help to do something for me when I first came in. And first was, I just work here. And I was just standing in the hallway. I just said, thank you. Rather than going off in it, I just said, thank you. Don't you know that a minute later, they were in here, doing what I had asked. So this is how it's so instant. Don't believe no's. Someone says no to you, go apart and just say thank you. Don't believe it. Okay. So let's just do a short meditation on this. So let us go within to that high and holy place of bountiful majesty. And let us say within, "Oh my God, light of my life, I love Thee. And I thank Thee right now for all Thou hast done for me and all that Thou shalt ever do. Right now, at the summit of consciousness, I ask that Thou shalt stream Thy light, shine Thy light through and through this hard area of concern that has been on my mind. I give thanks that You do take action on my behalf and pierce through to the center of the good truth which I know is present. I know that this good resides within, that it has always. And I give thanks that You shatter all the hardness everywhere in the atmosphere, and that You melt all obstruction, restriction, and conditions on the within and the without, and in all my atmosphere. Thank You, great God. Thou hast done this now. And Thou dost bring me forth into Thy land of omnipotent good and majesty. And Thou dost shower me with blessings. Thank You, Thou hast cracked that seal over my good and brought it forth to me so wonderful. Thou art wonderful, and I love You, and I am so grateful. Nevermore shall this condition come nigh me. Nevermore shall I know it. Nevermore shall it beset me. For I have the glory of thee. I am raised in splendor and manifestation now. I am free, fully restored, and mightily enriched. And so it is. Okay, so let's read our I am, knowing that these words that we speak are established as we speak them. Okay, so read them, letting the words settle. I am that I am, and right now I declare there is only one catalyzing energy that I use for the fulfillment of any good purpose, only one for the perfect bringing out of any heart's desire, and that is thanks. Thanks, morning, noon, and night, is my high word of praise, first in my consciousness, the omnipotent word that I extend over the vast bounty of life, embracing it, encompassing it, making it my own. Thanks leads me ever forward in a life of ever-expanding grace and opulent good. Thanks opens the sealed doors of majesty and reveals the resplendent means and measures of God. Thanks is my password to the kingdom and to untold heavens of glorious and joyous experience. Thanks is my connecting link to the sublime. Thanks raises me on high and alchemizes all to the pure radiant substance of divine abundance and good. By bringing thanks to all before me, my life is catapulted forward now, and I behold with transcendent awe the splendor and magnificence of my new kingdom of good, now given to me. God leads me through and forward now, through lands of astonishing beauty, peace, and majesty. I am the beloved, in whom the Father is very well pleased. I am the inheritor of the kingdom. I am the consciousness of eternal thanksgiving. And so it is. And so, I know you're all having the best Thanksgiving ever with, magnificent, bountiful demonstrations of freedom and good, and that your way is easy, and Spirit goes before you and makes this a great, great holiday.